After importing the corresponding BAPI to execute the Materials GetList method, we've seen the objects that were integrated into our knowledge base. Now we're going to create a procedure that allows us to define the connection with the ERP and invoke the GetList method to receive the list of materials. In this example, and for the sake of simplicity, we'll use specific information. Later on, we'll see other login options. We create a procedure named SAP Material GetList. The first thing we'll do is define the SAP Session Manager variable of the GX Enterprise Session Manager data type. Remember that this is one of the external objects of the Enterprise module, automatically created in the BAPI import process. Defining a variable based on the data type of an external object causes it to be defined with the data structure of that object. In this case, the properties username, password, instance number, app server, and so on correspond to the ERP connection data and also make it possible to apply their methods on this instance. So we go to the procedure source and assign a value to this variable for all the connection properties, starting with username, the user will use to connect to the ERP. Then we enter its password, instance number, and so on until all the connection parameters are completed. Once the values have been assigned to the variable's properties, we execute the connect method. If the connection attempt fails, the generated error is loaded in the error code and error message properties. So we ask if there were no errors, that is, if error code is empty. There we'll program the actions to take when the connection was successful. Otherwise, else, we want to somehow return and then display the error message, which is in the error message property of the external object. A good option is to use the message's structured data type that's automatically created in every knowledge base to be used precisely to store error and warning messages. Therefore, we need to define an output variable for our parameters to return all the messages generated as a result of running the object. We define it with the same name, messages, so that it automatically takes the messages data type. Now we have to load it into the procedure. Since it's a collection of items, which in turn is structured, we define another variable called oneMessage to represent an item. We return to the source to load it. To the ID, we assign the error code of SAP Session Manager, but as we see, ID is a varchar type and error code is numeric, so we convert the numeric type to string. Then, to description, we assign the error message property. Lastly, we have to indicate the message type, which, as we see, has a predefined data type, message types, and enumerated domain. All the domains defined in the knowledge base are seen here. The properties of message types have two values, warning and error. The type in our case will be error. What still needs to be done is to add this item to the message collection and close the block with ndif. Since our objective is to obtain the list of materials, we must invoke the getList method of the material BAPI. And that's what we'll do next.